I think Gen Zs are very authentic and they want to express what they feel boldly. And for that, I think it's a new challenge for the teachers as well, because these kind of boldness, this zeal for real life knowledge, grounded education is very new to us. But just as far as we know, this will also be the new paradigm for education all over the world. So I think they're curious, they're impact based, and they always want to make a change in the real world. And I think that's very exciting. Driven from my experience with Gen Z students, I think they're always looking out for novelty, and they always try to find something creative where they can express themselves and bring out their ideas. So with them, I think the teaching strategies that stand out best is to give them the space to create something of their own. I think projects and portfolios where they can actually showcase who they are, and making a space for them to create it by themselves and project showcases is one of the best strategies for teaching them, and just observe how they are doing and what they want from us. When I am in the place of a teacher, I try to create opportunities that will allow them to be their own person and to mark that thing in their career as well, so that they are grown up as skilled professionals. They always have a voice and they're expressing their opinions. One of the most exciting teaching strategies that I have applied is actually the role play method. And I think it works very well because students force themselves and they push their boundaries to be someone they might not have previous experience with. Like recently, we did a mock press conference, and that worked out very well because some of the students were journalists, some of the students were PR professionals, and they were defending their cases, answering to the journalists' questions. So this allows them to be someone, to think as someone who actually has an impact in the real workplace. So I think role playing and project workshops where they can express themselves, they can impersonate someone that actually have an impact on the society works very well. Continuous but creative assessment works the best for them, because when I give my students the opportunity to create something of their own, they do it with more enthusiasm, you see, because they can have an impact that is actually based on their interests. And it might not necessarily be a question answer that we used to follow, a traditional question answer method that doesn't bode very well with today's industry. So if a student is a good photographer, then they can create a portfolio of their own. And if my subject, the course I'm teaching has opportunities where I can incorporate their creative ideas, I try to evaluate them based on that, because I cannot judge a fish by assessing its ability to climb a rope, right? So I have to assess them based on what they think works the best for them. Is a multifaceted sector. So I have taught for classrooms and I have taught for actual people who came to training for us back when I was a development professional. And what happens, you get to meet a lot of new people, you get to think like them, and you get to know how they think. So in a similar scenario, once I was training a group of young girls against early child marriage in Bangladesh, and I was educating them and I was training them on how to use materials, how to use social media, IT platforms to develop awareness against it. So what I found out is they have a lot of ideas and they do not get a lot of space. So one of my students came up to me and she said, if we can do a drawing competition in our school, I think the young children will be very helpful for it. And I had not thought about it. So what I did was I just totally surrounded them and said that in your respective schools, you will go and you will arrange a drawing competition. So there were students from class 2 to class 7, and they participated in that competition, and that worked very well. I think CETL is already doing very good. I think it's important to introduce ethical AI in classroom, because we cannot ignore the fact that AI is in all parts of our lives.